The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened with unprecedented urgency. Ambassador Zethkar of the Vorthak Empire paced nervously across the pristine crystalline floor, his forearms gesticulating wildly as he addressed the assembled representatives of 17 species. "They're gone," he announced, his translator rendering his chittering voice into cold mechanical tones. "Every single human outpost, colony, and vessel has vanished from our sensors. No distress signals, no explanations. Nothing." The massive holographic display at the center of the chamber showed star charts that had been updated mere hours ago. Where green dots had once marked human settlements across 43 systems, now only empty space remained. Adam Chen had been working late in his laboratory on Kepler Station when the evacuation order came. As one of humanity's leading xenobiologists, he had spent the last 5 years studying samples from various council species, contributing to medical breakthroughs that had saved millions of lives across the galaxy. The order was simple: pack only essentials, report to designated transport zones within 6 hours. No explanations, no goodbyes. Meanwhile, on the agricultural world of New Lahore, Dr. Maheen Akhtar received the same message while tending to her hybrid crop research facility. Her work had revolutionized food production for 17 different species, solving famine crises that had plagued the Outer Rim colonies for decades. She looked at the thriving fields that stretched to the horizon, crops that would feed billions, and began packing her research data. 6 hours later, both research stations stood empty. In the council chambers, panic was setting in. "How is this even possible?" demanded Representative Quill of the Cetarian Federation, her beak clicking anxiously. "Our long-range sensors show no trace of human ships departing. No warp signatures, no quantum displacement readings, nothing." Ambassador Thane of the Rigelian Collective, his blue-scaled face contorted with worry, pulled up tactical displays. "We've lost contact with 43 human colonies, 12 research stations, and over 300 vessels. That's nearly 8 billion humans just gone." The truth was far more disturbing than they realized. Humanity hadn't fled. They had simply activated technology the Council never knew existed. Every human settlement, every ship, every outpost had been equipped with quantum phase generators, allowing them to slip into parallel dimensional space while remaining in the same physical locations. They were still there, invisible and undetectable, watching. Adam stood in his laboratory, which now existed in a reality shifted just slightly out of phase with normal space. Through his dimensional viewer, he watched Council security teams sweep through the station, finding it completely abandoned, yet perfectly preserved. His research remained. His equipment stood ready for use, but he and every other human had become ghosts. Phase shift successful, came the announcement over the quantum communication network that connected all human settlements. Council surveillance systems show 0 human presence across all monitored sectors. On New Lahore, Maheen observed similar scenes through her own dimensional viewer. Alien agricultural teams had arrived to inspect her facilities, finding them operational but eerily vacant. The hybrid crops continued to grow, the automated systems continued to function, but the humans who had created it all had vanished without explanation. In the council chambers, the implications were becoming terrifyingly clear. "Look at these reports," whispered High Chancellor Veltar of the Andromedans, his crystalline form refracting light in agitated patterns. "Human-designed medical equipment is still functioning in our hospitals. Their agricultural systems are still feeding our colonies. Their defensive installations are still protecting our trade routes. But there's no one to maintain them." The room fell silent as the magnitude of humanity's departure sank in. "How long before the quantum resonance generators in our shields fail?" asked Ambassador Zethkar, his voice barely above a whisper. 6 months, replied the Cetarian representative, consulting her datapad with trembling wing claws. "Maybe 8 if we're careful with the power systems. And the hybrid crops that feed the Outer Rim? The plants will continue their current growth cycle, but without human genetic modifications, they'll revert to their base forms within 2 seasons. Crop yields will drop by 70%. One by one, the dependencies became clear. Medical equipment that required human-engineered components. Transportation networks running on human-designed quantum processors. Communication systems relying on human-developed encryption protocols. Defense grids powered by human-built reactors. For 50 years, humanity had quietly integrated itself into every aspect of galactic civilization. They had volunteered for the most dangerous research, solved the most complex problems, and built the infrastructure that held the galaxy together. And now, without a sound, they had disappeared. In his phased laboratory, Adam received a message through the secure human network. It was from the Human Colonial Authority. Phase 1 complete. All human assets successfully hidden from Council detection, awaiting further instructions regarding Phase 2 negotiations. Maheen received a similar communication on New Lahore. The message was clear: this wasn't abandonment. It was leverage. The Council session continued for 18 hours. By the end, the representatives had compiled a list of critical systems that would fail without human intervention. The number was staggering. Over 10,000 essential installations across Council space, supporting the lives of nearly 100 billion sentient beings. High Chancellor Veltar finally spoke the words that everyone was thinking. We need to find them. Not to punish or interrogate, we need to negotiate. Negotiate what? Asked Ambassador Thane. Their return. In parallel dimension space, 8 billion humans waited patiently. They had not fled in anger or fear. They had made a calculated demonstration of their indispensability. For decades, the Council had treated humanity as junior partners, useful for their ingenuity but not quite worthy of full respect. Now, without firing a shot or making a threat, humanity had shown the galaxy exactly how much it depended on them. The Council finally understood that their civilization hadn't been built by 17 species. It had been built by 18. And the 18th had just reminded them how fragile their position truly was. In the silence of space, humanity waited for the call that would inevitably come.